Hi everyone, this is Fernando Herboso, broker for Maxus Realty Group. Our website is maxus.agency, and today I'm going to be showing you some tips and tricks how to pass your test for the real estate examination for the state of Virginia. I am a broker in Maryland and Virginia. I have a lot of experience on that area, not necessarily taking tests, but I'm going to show you some tips and tricks that I learned over the years how you can pass this the first try. So let's get started. On this video, but at the end of this video, you're gonna find all this information. At the same time, I'm gonna show you how you can get access to my notes. That is 22 pages where you'll be able to see the highlighted items that I have that you must know before you go and take a test, especially if it's a broker's test. I think this is something that's very important for you. But at the same time, this is in general how to take the test when you go for the state of Virginia. We're gonna find out about what to expect, how to prepare for the exam. Taking the test, I'm gonna show you about what is the experience, what questions to expect, very important for you if you want to learn. Don't fall for these tricky questions. I'm going to talk to you about how they try to trick you on some of these questions. Using the marked questions properly, that's another thing that is a key thing for you to give you the most chances on passing this test the first try. Finally, we're going to do a final review and the final strategy tips how to pass this test. Let's get started very quickly. And the reason why I wanted to do this video is because I know the anxiety that happens when you're trying to go and take a test, especially if you've never been there before and you don't know what to expect. You don't know what's going to happen when you get there, and that just adds to the pressure that you're trying to think. If you study enough to pass the test, and at the end you are also worried about what you're going to expect when you get there, if you have everything you need. So I'm going to tell you everything you should expect so you don't have to worry about the part. One of the things that is important is that to understand is that don't bring your calculator, don't bring extra pieces of paper, don't bring pens and pencils and erasers and all that stuff, because they are not going to let you bring that to the examination room. They're going to take all that away from you. They're going to give you their own little pad where you can take notes, and they're also going to give you their own calculator, and that's it. The only thing you need to take over there is actually 2 forms of ID, because once you get to the office and you go inside, they're going to ask you to fill out some papers, and they're going to ask you for those 2 forms of ID. At the same time, you need to dress accordingly. Be loose clothes, don't be restricted, because you need to be relaxed. You need to be relaxed. Don't worry about what you look like. Just worry about being comfortable. When you get there, my tip is to be focused. You're going over there for one purpose. You want to pass the test, and you go over there and don't focus on anybody else. Show your 2 forms of ID and get in front of the computer so you can take the test, and don't worry about what's going on around you. They're going to search you. They're going to see if you're maybe cheating, and if you have any notes under your sleeves or something. They're going to make sure you pull your pockets and make sure they're empty. They want to make sure, I guess, the experience for them is that maybe some people are going there to cheat. I don't know. Maybe this is not a good career for you if there's some people that are going over there with little notes on their arms and trying to cheat on the test, because if you are like that, that's not going to be good for you. As a broker with agents on my office, I can tell you, if you are a cheater or somebody who may kind of like go on the shady side, you're going to get in a lot of trouble, because if your license gets revoked, not only you're going to lose your license, you're going to lose your career, but then also they may add up some fines. It could be $10,000, $25,000. That's not going to be good for you. So but I guess on the test center, they want to make sure nobody's cheating. So let's go to the next part, which is the system itself. How you're going to take the test, and like I was showing you, you're going to have a computer. You're going to go over there. You're going to focus, and this is what you're going to see. This is not 100% exactly what you're going to see, but it's, I will say, very close to the system itself. Right on top, you're going to find out the mark content, comments, go to, help, and the X for ending the test. Those are very important. I'm going to show you one by one what you need to do on each of those. Then right underneath, you're going to have information about all your questions. How many questions you have left, how many you answer, how many questions you mark. Mark means that when you are in a question and you want to mark that question, you can come back to it later to review it, okay? That's what it means, mark. Go to means that you can go to mark questions, questions you didn't answer, blah, 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 but usually you don't want to use that, you know, just want to concentrate on the questions and go to the next and go to the next. There is help. I'm not sure what happens when you click help. I never did, but I'm pretty sure that if you help, just one thing of caution, you know, right after that, you're going to see how many minutes you have left on your test. And usually, and my test was 55 minutes, and I got to answer 50 questions. And so basically, if you are asking questions or you got to go to the bathroom, you know, your timing is going to keep going. They're not going to stop and let's put it on pause. No. And you need every second of those 55 minutes because you're basically having to answer one question for every minute. And you want to make sure that the answer is correct. So the type of questions that they may have is similar to this. Let's say the question may say, what is the capital of Argentina? Right underneath, they're going to say, choose from the following options. And they're going to have 4 or maybe different or 5 different options. You may have La Paz, Buenos Aires, Cusco, and Rome. So then you're going to click with your mouse the place where is the right answer. In this case will be Buenos Aires. And then you're just going to go next. And then you go forward to the next part. So I'm going to show you how to prepare for the exam. And I'm going to give you some tips how to study for exam because you don't need to be studying basically the thousands of pages that are available about the test because it's going to take you weeks to just learn about this. You need to have a strategy about how you can study. And the way I study is basically the way I did sports when I was younger. You know, if you're people that play as a quarterback or as a baseball player or soccer player, you know, we practice what is happening on the game. You don't practice slow. You don't practice calm way in a calm way. You practice exactly what you're going to do during the game. And basically it's the same practice you need to do with your test. You need to practice taking a test. That is my tip for you, and write it down. So when you're getting your hours, so you can finish those hours and you take a test so you can take the final portion of the test so you can get the license, that whatever course that where you're getting those hours and you're learning and getting all the materials, at the end of the course you got to take a test. It's a test that is going to allow you to go to take this main test that we're talking about. But on that program, you should have a place where you can take the final test over and over and over again in case you fail it. And you can practice doing that. And that's what I did. On my particular program, I had a 50 question test that I took approximately about 50, maybe I would say 15 times, maybe even 20 times. You know, and they have different versions of that same, or the test, you know, different questions. But you know, and I just repeat them, you know, and then just take, you know, obviously I glance through the material and all that, but I want to make sure where I'm at as far as knowledge and what I need to practice is what I'm going to be doing when I get there is taking a test. So I'm going to practice taking a test. So I use my ABC method. This is very important for you to understand that when I practice taking the test, I go through the questions, and before I answer the question, I'm going to grade them in a piece of paper, A, B, or C. A questions are the ones that I know, and there's no doubt about it, and basically that's something that I don't need to be studying. So I put the answer, go to the next question. The next part, which is a B, is when I kind of know the answer, but there are 2 options that are similar, and I'm not really sure which one is the best option to pick. So then I want to choose one. I'm going to guess one, but I'm going to guess with a reasoning. I'm going to put a reasoning inside my head saying, I'm going to guess this because of this. And then you need to remember that. And then just guess on that and go to the next question. Then if the next question is a C, which basically you don't have no idea what the answer is, then you need to just write it down because that's the part you need to be studying. So you go through the questions, and once you review your answers, you're going to go to A's and B's and C's. So the A's, you leave it alone. You don't have to worry about them anymore. The B's, then you need to find out maybe half of them were right, half of them were wrong, but you need to find out exactly why they were right and why they were wrong, and making sure that the reasoning that you created inside your head to guess the answer, it was either right or wrong, and you need to make sure you change that in your thinking. And then the ones that you mark C, the ones that you didn't know, you really need to study them. Those are the things that you need to be focusing on in your study. Don't be wasting time reading hundreds of pages where things that you already know. So once you find the question and then you try to figure out what is the answer, not only look at the materials that you're paying for while you're doing your hours, but go to Google and try to find different answers for the same thing, so you can understand exactly while you're doing the search and everything else. You're going to start kind of remembering, you know, this is the right answer and this is the reason why it's the right answer. So very important that you concentrate on those things that you don't know nothing about. So taking the test. You know how to take the test. You need to relax. You know what I did is, once I got there, I got set up. They show me which station I'm supposed to be taking my test, and I went outside. I said, can I use the restroom? I went to reach the restroom. I wanted to be relaxed. I got some cold water on my face and deep breathe. Hopefully there's nobody in the bathroom. And making sure that you relax your body, your brain, and you're ready to go. Once you start breathing normal, you're not anxious anymore, then get back and get started. Like I say, focus on everything. Don't focus on anything else. Just focus on just your test. You need to read the questions carefully. So, and I was thinking what to say to you so you can understand this, how important this is. Let's say that a police officer is writing a report about your ticket, a traffic ticket that you got, and is presenting to the judge, and you want to review what the police report says about you. That's how you need to read each question. Very careful, because you may be fined a lot of money, and if it's something wrong in there. And sometimes, you know, maybe a little word, a little comma, may be the big difference whether the answer that you're giving is going to be the right answer or not. So read it carefully, guys. What questions to expect? Obviously, I cannot give you the questions to expect. You need to pass your test. You need to know about real estate, but I'm going to give you an idea. I think you're going to be comfortable by the time you finish with this video. You're going to have an idea about what to expect. My aha moment for me, you know, and everything I do is very strategic. You know, I want to make sure I have the best odds at all time. You know, I don't go and mess around. I don't like to go in circles. I go straight, right on, and I ask myself, I'm taking the state version, you know, and I'm looking at a lot of information about how to do an office, how to design the greeting room, the work area, so what kind of furniture to have, how to read a P&L sheet, what happens when it's an independent contractor or it's a salesperson that you're hiring, what happens to the taxes, all that stuff. I know there's some very important things, and I know most of it anyway, but the reason why Virginia is asking you to take a test is because they want you to know about the laws, because I'm also a broker in Maryland, and sometimes those two things are different, you know. And Virginia wants to make sure that I know that they may have different rules and laws for the same thing that we have in Maryland. And that includes days, that includes money, how much it's going to cost, and that includes stuff about agency, licensing, disclosures in the state of Virginia, fair housing, how they take that very seriously, escrow accounts, and general practice. So these are the areas that you should concentrate on actually studying. And you should write this thing right, because I can tell you, over 90% of your questions, maybe even 100%, is going to be around this area. You know, I'm not saying that you will have all different questions, different tests, or different versions may have something else, but remember, the reason why Virginia wants you to take a test is because you need to know about this stuff and learn it from the state of Virginia. don't fall for these tricky questions. Two words that they use frequently in these questions is except and not. You know, and that is something that if you're reading in a hurry or you're like very confident and you read the question and you immediately say, oh, I know exactly what it is, but you forgot to read that word, or you may not be using that word correctly in your brain so you can compute it, the right answer, you know. So and for those people that never took a test, I'm going to show you, maybe I'll give you an example right now. Let's talk about still talk about Argentina, and let's say the question may be okay, well, what stuff you can do in Argentina? Maybe that's the question. What stuff can you do in Argentina? So the options will be: you can dance tango, you can drink mate, you can watch Boca Juniors play soccer, and you can ride a motorcycle. Okay, you may have those four options. Obviously, you know, dance tango is something that, you know, is coming from Argentina. That should be a thing. But the question may say, what stuff can you do in Virginia except or something or not? So basically what is right, the things to do in Argentina is not, is something that you cannot do in Argentina. So basically that's the question. What stuff you can do in Argentina? You can do these things in Argentina except. That's the question. You can do these things in Argentina except. And that's when you're going to see these answers. So you can actually dance tango, yes, in Argentina. So except means that that's incorrect. You cannot choose that answer. You can drink mate. Mate comes from Argentina. Obviously, they may have places in Uruguay. Paraguay also drink mate, but mostly it's in Argentina. So you can be kind of safe and secure that this answer also is incorrect. Then you can watch Boca Juniors play soccer. Obviously, Boca Juniors coming from Argentina. If you know about them, you know that's one of the biggest teams in Argentina, and obviously that's only for Argentina. And then ride a motorcycle. And you're gonna say to yourself, ride a motorcycle? I can ride a motorcycle in Argentina as well. I can ride a motorcycle in Peru and in United States, anywhere in the world. But that is what they're looking for. What answer is mostly related as close as possible to what they're asking you for. And if there is one that kind of sticks out, yeah, this may be correct, but also you can do it in a lot of places, and this is really kind of like separates this answer. Riding a motorcycle with drinking mate, dancing tango, or watching Boca Juniors. So that is the answer. That's the trick of the question, and that's the tricky answer that you're going to have to give. Except and not. Watch for those questions when they have these words, those two words. They use that very frequently. Using mark questions properly. What does that mean? It means that, so as I was saying, I had 50 questions to do in 55 minutes. So basically, immediately I say, man, I have 1 minute per question. I'm okay with that. You know, especially I was thinking maybe there's going to be some math. I have to do some questions, or maybe cases, scenarios where it says, you know, Regina is a listing agent and John is a buyer agent, and Maria is the buyer, and the other person is a seller, and the other person is a dual agent, and you're like confused and you don't know where the hell is going to with this scenario, and then you have to remember. So you need to write and note that. You know, sometimes I even just do a man, a little woman, and I put their names underneath, and I say this is the agent, this is the buyer, the client, this is the other agent, this is the broker, and kind of like see the scenario like that. But what I'm saying is, I don't have the luxury to spend 2 or 3 minutes in one question trying to figure out what the hell is going on. I don't. You don't either. So you have 1 minute, and that was my goal. I gotta do one question for each minute. So I go ahead and kind of like glance through whether I may have to guess or whatever, and I put the answer, and I just mark. Very important, you need to mark that question, because at the end of the test you're going to come back to all the marked answers, okay? And you can actually then change your mind, or or leave it like it is. Okay, so just remember, that's the reason why the mark is there. So you don't have to waste your time, because you need to go through all the questions first, and then after that, whatever time you got left, that's the time you need to use to review all your mark questions. As I say, you have approximately 1 minute per question. Final review. So after all is done, normally, you can go through looking at the little bottom tab, where I show you where you have information about the questions, what question number is you are, how many unanswered questions you have, how many questions are marked, and those, and the timing that you have left on the test. So you need to look at that and making sure there is no unanswered questions in your test, because you need to answer all the questions. Even if you don't know it, just go over there and take a guess, There's a 25% chance that you may be able to be right. A lot of times some of the answers and the options that they give you are so far-fetched that, you're going to say, obviously this is not the right. So then you only got 3 answers to guess from. And you may even get 1 more out. So you only have 2. That will be a 50-50 proposition for you to see which one is the best way to answer that if you don't know it. But that is really the final review. Other than that, you press the little button on the right where it says X, and you press that, and it's going to ask you, are you sure you finished with your test? Yes, I'm not really sure that I passed it, but I'm sure that I finished with the test. I have a headache. So you just press on that, and then you're thinking everything's going to come in there and let you know if you pass it or not, but no. They have a little survey, say, have we been good? How did you like the test? Well, you think it's good, it's bad, it's average, whatever. They're going to give you a little survey you got to follow with about 3 or 4 questions. I was thinking to myself while I'm doing the survey, I say, I wish you give me the survey after you tell me if I passed, because, in that case, that's going to affect if this test was good and this experience was good for me or not. So after I finish with the survey, then it says, okay, boom. And here it comes. You pass. You're happy. Don't make no noise because there are other people taking a test. Just go out there. If you want to yell, you can do it outside. And that's it. That's everything. So if you want my notes, my 22 pages of notes with the highlighted yellow things that you're going to be able to just study. Remember, when you're studying, you need to know the dates. You need to know the days. You need to do how much, if you're thinking about, everything and you have an idea what's going to happen, you need to know exactly how much it is. One of the questions that may be, how much does it cost to apply for a license, a concurrent license for the state of Virginia for a broker? So if you don't know what a concurrent license is, or you don't know how much exactly it costs to apply for a concurrent license in Virginia, you need to study, because those are the things that I'm talking to you about. You may know in general everything, but you need to know those numbers. You need to know those dates. You need to know exactly what you need to do. So go to maxus.agency. You're going to see the same video here right underneath. There's a place for you to download these notes. And I am a broker for Maryland and Virginia. And if you're thinking about, joining an office, please give me a chance. I am a broker who is passionate about my agents, and I want to make sure that my agents are successful. Just the reason why I'm doing this video, because I want to make sure that you're going to be successful and pass this test on the first try. Thank you and have a great day.